everybody, I'm Andy Cohen, joined by the lovely ladies of the Real Housewives of Potomac. And tonight we are breaking down a wild 7th season that shook up the group and shook up some tables. As you can see, we've been transported back to Miami, and I'm glad to see that none of you are missing in action. So let's get into it.
Robiana, Topiana, Strapiana, Dykeana. Robiana, Miss Dyke, the Dykeana. Miss Robiana, Miss Dyke, Robiana, Topiana, Strapiana, Dykeana. Robiana, to Topiana, Miss Strapiana, the Dykeana. Miss Robiana, Miss Dyke, Robiana, Topiana, Strapiana, Dykeana. Robiana, the Dykeana. Robiana.
I'm really happy for her to maybe have this opportunity to show some decorum, to Robert up as she always does, and be the Robert that we know her to be, and handle her shit and stop deflecting.
Look, we have to start out saying, I'm so happy to hear that you are healthy and cancer-free.
Yes, same. Thank you. I mean, I did originally post something and then I had to go back and I changed it because I really quickly noticed that everybody thought that I said I had cancer, which I do not, thank God. And I am well, I'm alive. And I feel good. But I'm still, going through a lot, and I'm still in testing, and whatever's going on with me, I will prayerfully be healed. You will. And I'm going to work through that, and you guys get to see that.
So what were you diagnosed with?
So here's the thing. I actually am still under care, and I am actually on medication. We did find out that I do have tissue growing in my reproductive organs, and so I am on medication for it to help diminish it so I don't have to get it surgically removed. You don't question certain things. I never question her post about having like ADD, ADHD, whatever it is that you have. I didn't question it. I just said, hey, baby, I appreciate it.
Your post was questionable. It raised questions. We were confused.
That's a fair statement.
When there's nothing confusing, there's nothing to be questioned, but we were confused.
This is what no cancer looks like.
It's interesting because you guys will see that there is a small segment of us who actually give her support and don't question her, and I'm one of the people in there. But it was questionable.
We're talking about her social media posts. I was saying, as your friend, I want to let you know that it seems extremely like, look at me, I need attention.
I would have loved to bring you guys to the hospital. I would have loved to have my opportunist husband video me while I was getting wheeled on a damn bed to show the world that I'm not lying.
I came over and I fed your family. So I want you to know, while the girls, let's be very clear.
Don't get shady with my family.
No, let's talk about it though. The cameras weren't rolling. We were friends. But I came over and I checked on you from my heart, and I fed your children and I spent time with you.
But did you come to feed my children so you can go back and tell everybody that you came to feed my children?
No, but I would think that if you are having a health scare and I have been a true friend to you, that you would say, look, Karen rode with me. Karen was there with me to the extent that I could be. So I was going to say this, though. I'm not hung up on that, okay? I do what I do, not for the cameras, but because I'm real. Ooh. So the girls genuinely had questions, and you and I had actually talked. We were in a good place at that time. I think we'll see where we end up later. And I'm hopeful that it will be in a good place. But their questions, I shared with you in advance that they had questioned you. And hold on. I'm just thinking that while I didn't agree with, your channel of communication, I supported you, and I never questioned once anything about your illness. I just asked you, what could I do to help you?
Right, you did it.
Thank you.
But
that for the record.
It's my social media page, so I can post whatever I want to.
Nancy from Maryland said, Ashley, a few seasons ago, you called Candace the least accomplished on the cast. Do you still think she's the least accomplished, or is that you? Oh, that's mean.
All the things I want to tell you, we've been through it all, but we rise, not fall. And baby, right from the beginning, been through thick and thin, and now we're back again.
And I stand by the fact that I think as an adult, at some point in time, you do need to be responsible for yourself. I had a spouse.
You are not.
Your name was not on that home.
But could you have gotten that house without Michael?
I could have gotten another home.
But not that one.
That's true.
But the home that you have, that's probably, about $2 million?
More.
You could not have afforded on your own.
True.
Okay, that's all I'm saying.
And you mentioned, we talked a little bit about Candace. I think she was on Watch What Happens Live this past week and said there might not be any path forward for the two of you guys. I actually love when you guys are drinking and drunk and having a good time together. Like, that's fun to see you guys, like, laughing with one another. Do you see a path forward between the two of you guys ever? Or just, like, keeping it surface level to where we can get more of those moments of you just, like, kikiing and having a good time?
It's unfortunate to hear that she feels that way when the things that I brought to the attention of the group were, in my opinion, so much less severe than things she has said about me in the past, things that I've been able to move beyond. And I have acknowledged that how I approached the information that was given to me, I definitely could have delivered that in a better way. And I do take ownership of that. And I apologize to her for that. Mm-hmm. Even still, for her, this is, I think, a difference between our maturity level and how we address confrontation is once something is like resolved for me, I do try to forage on. I never say that's the end of it, even if I should sometimes. But I never say that's the end of it. And so, whereas for her, she's like, hard stop on a relationship between us. And I'm fine with that. However she chooses to move, that's fine. I'm a Gemini, okay? So I will go with the flow. But it is sad for me to hear that something that was not even that serious, okay? Like, Chris flirted with my friend, like, whatever. Like, it's fine. Like, let's just move on. It just was a little bit like, whoa, I just wanted to bring to her attention. For her to, like, run with that. And some of the things that she says at the reunion are, I will say she decided to use that as a stage, and she performed, for sure. Mm-hmm. And quite frankly, it just started becoming a little bit like, Charlie's, what is it? What's Snoopy? Where it was, to me, it was like drowning out.
Veronica from Florida said, Candace, I'm all for you defending your husband, but you kept saying Giselle accused him of sexual assault, which she never did. That in itself is dangerous to throw around.
She accused him of sexual assault when she said that Ashley's friend was grabbed on the ass by him.
So my friend was at the spring party. Mm-hmm. And she said that, Chris was being a little bit flirty with her. She was standing at the bar ordering a drink, and he came up and he was like.
That in itself is dangerous to throw around.
She accused him of sexual assault when she said that Ashley's friend was grabbed on the ass by him.
Well, his actions, whether they were innocuous or not, have been interpreted that way by Brandon. Looks like Sesame Street.
Can we agree, though, that it probably is not the best idea for a married man to be in a hotel room with a single woman?
Can you clarify why she had a hotel receipt with Juan's name on it?
Oh, wow, you want to get all into there. Okay,
yeah.
So I really don't want to give her this attention, but...
Now, one last thing. She had also mentioned that you sent Juan a request via Zelle or something for $4,000, basically, I guess, insinuating that you were asking for the money in order to not go to the blogs or something to that. Can you speak on that?
So the hotel receipt comes into play because for whatever reason, she decided that she wanted to fly to Maryland. And she had told Juan that she was dating a Baltimore Ravens player.
You feel like Juan gave her the story that she has regurgitated to all of us?
Definitely.
Okay.
She's telling him she's flying to Maryland, and he's like, okay, whatever. But somewhere along the way, she gets to Maryland, she's reaching out to him, she tells him she lost her wallet in the casino and she cannot pay for her hotel room.
Yeah, it's a little outrageous, and I wish she would have put more thought into her statement because I am in Canada, I am a Canadian citizen, and in 2023, we don't have Zelle. We don't accept Zelle. I can't request Zelle. I don't have access to that on my phone. There's other means of sending money for Canadians, and Zelle just is not an option, and everybody knows that.
He feels bad for her. Apparently she was like, really stressed out, really distraught. He feels bad for her. He goes to the hotel, puts his card down at the counter or whatever, and that's it.
It seemed like a moment from the Victorian era or something that a man and a woman, two responsible adults, can't go into a room together alone to have a conversation.
In light of Chris had DM'd Ashley and there was a situation in which Chris made me feel completely uncomfortable.
What I heard was very disturbing. A comfort zone that does not exist for you where Chris is concerned, and
Correct.
Chris thinks that you're more comfortable than you are.
Correct.
Candace said Giselle is, quote, dead to me. And since the cause of death was Giselle and Chris Bassett's conflicting reports of what happened after last year's reunion, I want to see if Giselle can help me fill in the blanks. What was your response to Chris saying he's 99% sure that when he asked to talk, you were the one that suggested your room?
That's a lie. If that were the case, there'd be no issue with it. I'd have nothing to tell Candace.
I said, Giselle, can we talk? And she said, yeah, let's go to my room.
So she suggested going to your room.
99% sure.
You think she never, in fact, felt uncomfortable?
No. She literally
I feel like both
we left
of us,
the reunion,
yes.
we got
And
in
you
an
told me
SUV,
this.
and the first thing she said to me was, Chris asked me to have a private conversation in my bedroom,
And you told me
and
that.
I did not feel comfortable.
So what about him saying, I asked him to go to the room? That's a lie.
While I'm talking to Candace, she interrupted and said, oh, are you mad? And I said, we'll talk about it later. So she knew I wanted to talk already. She already knew I wanted to talk. So yes, we went in and we talked. And basically the gist of what I said, she says I complained about my wife. First of all, as a married man and someone who has been in a few relationships, I know better than, as a married man, to complain about my wife to a single woman. That already sets a bad tone. So I didn't complain about my wife. Not at all. What I said was, I didn't like this. I don't think you guys are communicating well. I don't think you're on the same page. We cannot keep having seasons where there is so much bickering. People will get tired of it. Y'all need to figure this shit out and come together, and we need to have a fun and uplifting season. Yes, there's going to have to be some drama because that's what people love, but it's got to be a better season. It can't keep going like this. I'm going to tell Candace, I'm going to have you and Robin over for dinner, and the three of y'all are going to figure this shit out. And that's what I talked about. That's it. And that went on for, like 10, 12 minutes maybe. And then she did say, we've been talking for a while. Can you see if they're ready? And I said, absolutely. And I went to go check. And as I was walking out the door, there was somebody right there coming to get her anyway. And that was that.
As a viewer, okay, it seemed like you had a really nice relationship with Chris. Were you worried about damaging his reputation?
Looking back on the dance studio moment, do you wish you approached that whole Chris situation differently, knowing that it would eventually result in the kind of like demise of your friendship?
I approached that situation. I thought about that. I approached it. I chose all my words carefully. I didn't add any like extra drama and hot sauce and tea to it, which I know how to do very well. And I didn't do that because we were friends. Now we're no longer friends, so I can really get to the tea and the nitty gritty of it all. And and that's what the reunion is for.
That's her MO. Damage every man's reputation because she is mad that her stinks.
Giselle has a history, and there's a reputation there of her being fast in her past, and her being loose in her past. These are facts. I'm not making this up. So I see her flirting with Chris, and it's like, oh, po thing, just po thing. That's cute. It never.
You said po thing or poke thing?
Po. P-O apostrophe. Po. Po thing. It's just you can't ask for more from someone who can only give you less than half. Like I can't. It never bothered me. So he may be attracted. She's a beautiful woman. I'm attracted to Giselle. She's a beautiful woman.
I'm attracted to Giselle. Giselle's gorgeous. Okay. Yes, I agree.
Listen, she's beautiful, but a shell is a shell, okay? And shells often have funky insides, and that's one.
Let me go back to the beginning. Giselle, the criticism was that you waited until cameras were up and this could have been dealt with before.
You could have called me and you didn't because you wanted to wait for an opportunity to do it on a platform that would cause the most hurt to someone who has ever been anything but kind to you. And that is what
that's not true.
What
I just was like, wait a minute. I feel that this is something Candace should know.
I think we would all be able, including the viewers, to give Giselle the benefit of a doubt to say that that's true. However, there has now become a clear pattern of this happening time and time again with people's husbands, where you have a problem, but the timing always coincidentally happens when the camera starts rolling.
No one talks about relationships except for the fact that Giselle constantly attacks our husbands. So when you attack our husband, we return serve by saying, how can you attack us when we have no one in your life to even attack?
Why would you bring a lie on this platform if you know it's a lie?
Because you're breathing life into it by bringing it up on the show.
So that's why she is Giselle Lax Bryant, because you can't attack somebody if you lack that thing that you're attacking in that other person.
Her point was specifically that you're putting something out there about her husband that's not true.
Don't attack my husband.
Yeah.
Because that's something I do not play with.
Why are you looking at me?
I'm looking at you because it was your ass having a conversation with Ashley.
Did you tell her what I said?
So I'm putting your ass on notice because what you're not going to do, let's be very clear, is you're not going to play with my husband's name. Don't with my family.
If anyone was truly concerned, you can call me, and no one has. So when you sit here on your soapbox and try to say, I'm not getting through to you, no, you're not going to get through to me, because if you really wanted to, you could have a one-on-one and call me. So let's not play the theatrics, because I'm not here for that today.
I think it's always funny to hear her say that people are insecure when she's really the most insecure person in our group. She deflects all the time. She never wants to talk about her issues, and she does things to purposely hurt people. So I'm okay with where we are, but when we think of insecurity, it's Giselle's face literally in the dictionary.
I had seen this woman a few times from...
This woman meaning Giselle?
That one.
Giselle kind of insinuates that your husband hit on her. What is that about? What was your reaction?
Well, I think you saw some of my reaction in the trailer. What I will say is this. When you are dealing with people who are lacking in personal lives, personal story, they have to resort to acrobatics, creative ways to, construction paper, Elmer's glue, to just make up school projects to keep a job, to keep a check. So stay tuned. It all plays out, and you will see for yourselves what's what is and what is not.
From the time that we left the reunion to the time that we sat in that dance studio.
Okay.
She has my phone number.
I didn't see
you were at my album release, dancing and supporting me.
Okay.
And
you want me to tell
singing.
you then? As you're singing on the stage?
Oh, so it's not okay to tell me then, but it's okay to sit on national television
I wasn't gonna
and
tell
tell
you
me.
at all.
You're not smart.
I was the target last year. And so it's just, wow, just to see the same energy being transferred to another married couple. And, happily married. Because that's always the adjective. Because if you're happy, you're not attacking other people.
My God, today.
Your family business is all in a shambles.
There's probably no point of return with this one because we got in an argument. It was very nasty on the plane.
Okay.
Yes. It was very embarrassing.
I witnessed.
I mean, y'all aren't even speaking.
It's not okay.
What I'm not okay with is her thinking that she can take jabs at me and I can't reciprocate. That's where I draw the line.
Okay.
So, Mia, why is it okay for you to sleep with Gordon when he was married, but then call out Jacqueline for doing the same thing?
Have you had a sexual relationship?
There was never any penetration.
Okay.
We know Gordon likes others, right?
And they think we're in some tobacco, like some threesome together.
Oh, us three.
Giselle, you've made Michael, Eddie, Ray, and Chris Bassett a storyline.
No one talks about relationships except for the fact that Giselle constantly attacks our husbands. So when you attack our husband, we return serve by saying, how can you attack us when we have no one in your life to even attack?
Why would you bring a lie on this platform if you know it's a lie?
Because you're breathing life into it by bringing it up on the show.
So that's why she is Giselle Lax Bryant.
Use this show to lie on people.
In light of Chris had DM'd Ashley and there was a situation in which Chris made me feel completely uncomfortable.
What I heard was very disturbing. A comfort zone that does not exist for you where Chris is concerned, and
Correct.
Chris thinks that you're more comfortable than you are.
Correct.
There was a photo of Karen and this blue-eyed man. Who is Blue Eyes?
Don't need to go there.
Yeah. Let me see. No, you good. That looks like somebody you know, right?
Yeah, that looks like
Let me see. Yeah. And this man potentially has blue eyes, right?
She used to think she was sneaking out of town, going to restaurants. Bitch, we see you.
By herself?
With someone that wasn't right.
Charisse, you came out with every accusation possible. What? There's more?
You have attacked people's families.
You know, I don't talk about other people's personal
That's
life
not
and
true. My
the
husband, a
stuff
broke
that
Bill
comes
Gates.
out, and people say things. I mean, people say you have a boyfriend. Do I talk about that? Blue Eyes or whatever his name is?
Like, here, and Carlos, I really don't talk about people. But this woman has said so much about me for some reason unbeknownst to me, because I really would never put her shit out on Front Street or say anything about her. If I wanted to say this stuff, I could have said it for season 1, season 2. It's just not my MO to put people's stuff out there, but now I don't give a fuck, so.
When you called Juan, he was as pissed as I've ever heard him.
There's no lie about that rumor about the girlfriend. I have witnesses.
Hey, so I'm here with Ashley, and Ashley's telling me that Karen has come to her and said that you have a girlfriend that has long blonde hair and that you walk the streets of Georgetown holding hands with her and a blonde hair. You said so she's like old like Karen?
Rob, I'm about to hang up because this is why I don't like this.